they concentrated Apostet onto Terra.
Yes.
Just out of hate and malice, and just because, like, you know what, our lives don't matter. Just like,
Well, they saw that too many of them had dropped, and that there was no way they were going to be able
yeah,
to create it. So instead, they create momentary. They create they sacrifice themselves to each to open a gate. To each of them casts a gate spell together.
wow,
So it does what they were trying to do through they were trying to create a permanent gate
yeah.
in using the ring, uh,
Oh, right. What was that ring called again? I remember it was called something. It was
called
called
the Oklopetris.
the Oclopetris. That's right.
So the it can and it's not just the ring of stone. It's also there's also a pointer stone as well
Right.
that you can see in the picture as well. It's the main it's the main it's the main part of
Yeah. The pointer stone.
it's the it there it functions it functions a lot like a
Like a
rifle barrel.
focus.
Uh,
Like a focus, honestly.
yeah.
Like, it's sort of like all this energy coming out, but it's spread out. And then it all gets sucked in by this point and then directed to the gate. And then the gate forms.
Yes. The three demons in the center of the gate, they're trying to start the thing as hard as they can,
Yeah.
but with only the three of them, all they're able to do is create a momentary burst of it, and instantly heat, and there's just a huge boom
Yeah.
that just toasts
Annihilates.
annihilates almost all pretty much all the creatures that are there. Those who are
Wow.
not burned in the blast wish they were,
Yeah.
as they slowly die, so badly burned that they have hours to lay in agony, uh,
Wow.
as they all slowly expire around you,
Mm.
and you're able to to reach out with your celestial power,
Mm.
every time you see the soul energy beginning to disconnect from the individual bodies, you're able to kind of each to just reach out with your extra dimensional feelings, and
Mm.
connect them, just
Yeah.
kind of like
Spread them.
grabbing a little, pulling a little strand of Mokal down and
Mm.
connecting, and it kind of like grounds them, and
Yeah.
and pulls them up, and you reach out as you've done with so many valorous beings over the eons,
Yeah.
collecting that energy to add it to Mokal,
Right.
to both strengthen and reward the
Mm.
valorous.
That's awesome. That's really cool. It's literally like Valhalla. I love it. I love it. It's so cool.
I thought you would enjoy this. Uh,
Right? It's so cool.
so your feelings come back to the present, though.
Mm.
Uh, they
Oh, because this is all a dream.
they
That's right.
they
Or
they
a
they
memory.
they snap back, and there's this mortal
Yeah.
pulling you towards Terra, and when the fight at the Oklopetris was the last time you had gone to Terra, so
Yeah. And
it's
this is
been
the
a while.
spot. This is the spot where it was, right? As
Uh,
well? Or no?
no, it's
Okay.
not. It's actually that was on one of the major energetic vortices of the
Mm.
planet, is where the Oklopetris had been located. This is
Yeah.
on another one of the main energy vortices of the planet,
Mm-hmm.
but it is one that is located at a sextile to
Yeah.
that to that one. So it's like it's a different access point, but it is,
Mhm.
but it's
Yeah.
it's curiously
And,
located right
and I
next to one of
and
those.
I'm thinking to myself, like, if a mortal is summoning me to like Terra, something important probably has to be there. So
Yes.
I'm like, road trip, and I sort of like accept myself to be summoned by this mortal.
You feel yourself kind of billow out
Hmm.
in this cloud, as your regular 9-dimensional self.
Yeah.
You kind of turn and you look around to survey the area. It's very crude. It's 4-dimensional,
Hmm.
um, but it but it's but 4 dimensions, is everything has the same amount of energy. It's just packed
Yeah.
into a different package. So you can see the beauty the beauty
Yeah.
within it, and the beings here are actually, for being as simple as they have very earnest and powerful emotions,
Yeah.
and that is useful to Makal and
Totally.
to you.
Yeah.
Um, but you see you can see there are the deeds of there are several heroes in front of you, and you can see you can see that it's an under it's just underneath the surface of this. Sorry, I thought I heard something like climbing around down in the bottom of
Oh,
my desk,
okay, like a cat.
like a mouse. Um,
Oh, oh.
so so there so there so it's just under the crust of the planet. There's a large portal not very far away, which is actually it's a portal to the plane of positive growth energy.
Oh, we're in Solaire. I'm
And
saying that out of character, but
yes,
like, yeah.
you narrow your you really like you have to squint
Yeah,
real
I'm like,
hard
what am I looking at?
to make it out, because it's kind of like you're trying to like look at a circuit board, like
Yeah.
and puzzle out the individual things. So you have to focus real hard. You gotta kind of you gotta get the loop just in the right spot.
Yeah.
um, as you're looking around, you see the residues of infernal energy everywhere,
Oh.
like the energy of a
Oh.
posset
Ugh.
everywhere.
Oh.
It's harnessed in this. It would have been harnessed in these large crystalline ships, that that had that look like battle wagons of some kind.
Yeah.
But they have these metallic cages that exude the infernal energy of the denizens of Apposite.
Wait.
Several of them are broken across the landscape,
How
and
big are these cages?
uh, they're they're around a large carved out chunks of obsidian. Uh, so
Okay.
th- so
Got it.
they're quite large. Um,
I was thinking I could make a connection to the cage here and the cage that was on Mitt. That would be like, right?
Um, so it could be a miniaturized. The cage around Mitt could be a miniaturized version of
True.
the same cage that drove the gnomish battle wagons.
Yes.
Um, so as you're looking there, and it all harnesses demonic energy. So
Yeah.
this high pressure energy of malice,
Yeah.
just
Which is odd
purified.
because why would Malice summon me,
Yeah, it's
right? So,
right, but you can see that the summoner is this. It's an elf,
yeah.
and he's got and there are several heroes arrayed around him. But as you're looking at him, you see that he doesn't belong here.
Hmm.
His energy is of a vibration of a different phase shift of 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 the dimension in which he currently is. And you
Right.
look around and you see that there are a few others that are also that are also from a different mathematical phase shift
Yeah.
of this dimension, which is curious, because
Yeah. It's yeah. That's weird.
if the realms are interpenetrating each other, that's evidence that some sort of fractures are happening, and
Yeah.
things and energies are leaking through in the wrong spot. So the
Which is
engine
why
the engine's gonna the engine's gonna break down.
which is why the apposite was appearing all over the place. There was no explanation why. Oh my god. The
You're get
lore!
you're getting it.
I'm starting to understand. It wasn't just cracks in time, but it was also cracks in space and just like everywhere. Everything was at where like place where it wasn't supposed to be.
Everything was coming apart, and
Yeah,
as
coming apart.
and as you're looking around, you're like, wow, this place has changed a lot since I've. Holy cow, what is that?
Yeah.
And as you're examining it with your nine dimensional senses, you see that all of these that reality itself is coming apart, like
Oh.
the entire structure. It's like it's like, it's like someone has been hacking at the fabric of reality with the like, think of it as, a beautiful, delicate, crystalline flower that exists interleaved in 7 dimensions, and it's all cradling. It's all just a huge egg for a divine being, which is gestating inside in the core of this thing. But on the
Mhm.
outside, all of this wonderful variety of life
Yeah.
has evolved. But it's a lot simpler than the multidimensional being which is gestating inside of this great green egg.
Yes.
Um, the simple life forms that exist on the outside are capable of wondrous art and great emotion, and
Totally.
and they're
Like
so
rich culture.
it's just so beautiful. But all of this is being threatened by this hacks in
Yeah.
reality that are going on, and you see that they are all tied to this elf that just summoned you here.
Right. And I speak to this elf in. I would assume I know how to. Do I speak with the mind, or do I speak with a voice, or how do I?
Well, um,
Bleh.
you you can vibrate the molecules in the area, but that also has the effect of, what happens when you start vibrating things at high frequencies. They
Yeah.
heat up. Um, you could fry them all potentially with your
Oh
divine
no.
voice. You can but you can also, you could, if you take some time, you could probably kind of stuff your face into the thing and go like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah.
hey, can you hear me?" You know, you know,
Yeah.
and but it might also be easier to, to pluck the dude that summoned you, because since you can't fit through the hole, he can fit through the hole a lot easier than you can,
Right. Yeah.
and you
So
can
yeah, I think
you
it's
can and you can keep a bubble of reality around him so that he doesn't, like, so that,
do anything bad.
the difference in surface pressure between Mahal
Yeah.
and Terra is different. The gas composition of the atmosphere is different.
Yeah.
So
Totally. All different. So yeah, I'm going to gently, not forcefully, just
mm,
like sort of like again like a loving embrace, like come on honey, tell me about it, right? And then like
mm.
I sort of pull him into this thing.
As you're like, dude, no, come here.
Yeah.
You reach out and you begin pulling him back, and that's when you feel an ember light right in front of you.
Ember.
It's an ember of a posset.
Oh.
Deep inside that cave, you see it's out of, like, visual sight, but with your extra planar sight, you see the ember just, and you can see that it is one of the archdukes themselves
Oh.
of a posset has just come here, and there are three of the valorous heroes
Yeah.
that are immediately in front of it, and it is looks like it's sneaking up over the top of them, uh,
Oh.
in an extra planar space that they can't perceive,
Right.
getting
Okay.
ready to kind of envelop and just ambush them.
Yeah, ambush them. Um, is and the elf that summoned me
Uh-huh.
is did he light this ember or no?
No.
Okay.
But you get a sense that not only does this archduke want this elf that you're holding,
Yeah.
you can feel the desire for that elf.
Desire.
Right?
Yeah.
You can just radiating off of the archduke, who is RGZD.
RGZD
Yes.
4. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
He's got
this
the
thing.
4.
I mean, this thing could potentially damage you, but you can sense that it's one of the lesser of the quadratics.
Right.
Not
But it's still a quadratic.
yes.
But still.
You're a pretty high trine. So
Yeah. Um. So, and this elf that is he totally in like my realm where I can speak to him at this point?
you're about to pull him out. And
Okay. Hmm. I'm thinking. Do I pull him out or do I save the valorous heroes?
you might
If
be
I
able to
pull,
do both. I mean, you've got the gate there now. As long as you hold it open, you might be able to. Boing!
mm, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and like get like a quick briefing on what's going on here.
Okay,
So and I
so
I
you
pluck him.
so you pluck the elf through, um, and just as you're getting ready to pop him, to
Yeah.
to to pop to pop it through, uh, you feel the you feel RGZD reach out
Mm.
and crush the gate.
Oh,
He closes it.
he just like
Right.
okay. That was my gate that I needed to get to here. So he
No,
crushed.
that was the
Oh.
that
Oh,
was the
hey.
gate that the elf had opened
Right.
that you pulled him through.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and he just crushed it.
Good night, young man.
Good night, Dad.
Yeah.
Hi, Antonio.
Odin says good night as well.
All right. Good night, Odin.
And
Yeah. So RGZD basically just crushed the gate so that you can't get through.
okay. Um.
So you've got this elf here in front of you in a little bubble of his reality.
I look at him with confusion, curiosity, and understanding as I'm like, what what happened? What's going on?
Uh, he
But
appears to
with like a
he
divine
appear
with a okay, yeah.
he appears to be completely dazzled and just like he's undergoing sensory overload. You can
Sensory overload.
you can plainly tell that the nine-dimensional reality in which you have brought him is
Not not good.
is 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 not something that he can really perceive and understand.
Yeah.
He really needs to be spoken to on his terms.
Yeah. On his turn.
On
Okay.
yeah, on
On
so
his terms. Oh,
on
okay.
his terms,
So
yes.
so is there a way I can dim not only the surroundings but also myself down to this four-dimensional form?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You can create a four-dimensional avatar, but that's also going to require you to create a four-dimensional environment in which the two of you can interact.
Okay.
So you take the time to do so. What do you want this place to look like?
Um what is a place of comfort that
You
these
you
people
sense a
have?
you sense a that this man's library he considers as his safe place and his place of refuge.
So yeah, I set it to a nice library,
Okay.
and I some nice comfortable chairs,
So
and
you pluck the location out of his memory and create that room
yeah,
out of his memory, uh, and
and like it's like a nice like fireside, like a fireplace, and there's like chairs
yes,
in front of it, and maybe like a
yes,
table.
and you are in Vishamus Markel's study in Solaire,
Yeah.
in a kind of holodeck version of it, shall we say, that you create and animate. And
Mhm.
so you stuff yourself into a four-dimensional form as well. He's sitting behind his desk, and you're sitting in a chair. Uh,
Mhm.
he's he realizes that he's pouring a drink, and
Mhm.
he's pouring a pair of brandies, which you know that he makes himself, and he
Mhm.
sets one of the glasses on the desk across from you, and he's looking at. Hello. Do,
Hi.
do I have to thank you for?
No, this no,
Where are
it's
we?
fine. You're in sort of like a pocket dimension almost, a place where we can talk and where you can be comfortable until I have to put you back to where you were.
Pocket dimension.
Wait, on, you're muted, or
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was speaking too low.
Yeah.
A pocket dimension. Brilliant. But
Yeah.
what of what of Millicent, my daughter?
Your
Please.
daughter your daughter's going to be okay. I promise.
How
Your daughter's
how do you know?
trust me, I know these sort of things.
He
Now,
looks he looks at he looks at his he looks at his cup, and he says, "Is this place is not real, then?"
no, it's not real. It's just I had to make a place of comfort for you, and also you couldn't comprehend the 9 dimensions that I originate from.
9 dimensions. Then I am far away from Solaire, far away from the fight. There's,
You,
there's a being of great power and great evil
an arch,
that's threatening.
an, an archduke of Apposite.
Yes, yes, he's made a pact with a dark with with a a very dark human.
Mm.
He plans on he plans on their their plans are to bring the are to bring a move an entire planet here.
Apposite to
Yes,
Terra.
yes, they plan on physically bringing their planet into the orbit of Terra so that they may consume it.
That would eradicate Terra.
It would.
Is there a way, hold on, out of character, is there a way I can, like, is there a way I can bring him back to, like, that's not a gate form, because there's no gate anymore, but, like, would there be a way I can, like, race him back to where he was? Or,
Think of it like you have a like you have you have a tapestry that's a
mm-hmm,
million miles wide,
yeah,
and you want to take something the size of a needle that came through a hole and go right back into the same hole.
okay,
So it will be very difficult to get him back exactly where he was,
right,
because
um,
the biggest problem is that because since he has a different since he has a different resonance than the place that you plucked him out of, he's going to want to go back to the place that he actually is from. So the
yeah,
resonances don't match up. It's like kind of trying to push two magnets of the same polarity together.
Mm. So, is this place out of time, or is this place in the flow of time as this is going on, or is this place out of time?
It is in multiple times.
Okay.
Time is think of time as a three-dimensional continuum here, where you can move backwards, forwards, and sideways in time.
Okay. Sideways. Whoa. Okay. Um. So, if I can move back, if we have all the time in the world right now to talk, I want to know exactly what's going on.
He te-
So,
he tells you the entire story that that you that of everything that you experienced as Beishe while Vaishamus was there. Vaishamus
yeah,
Vaishamus is able to tell you with the one notable exception
yeah.
of
Of.
of the meeting at the bar in Asala,
Oh, right. Okay.
where you guys talked your way out of the fight with the extremely elderly Myth the Chronomancer.
Yes. I remember that. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember that part.
where he, you all sat down for drinks. He stood his guards down and said, "You are in my city. I'll consider you
Yeah.
my guests if you don't make any trouble. Let us
Hmm.
sit. Let us talk." And then Vaishamus, who was with you at the time, who was older than
Mm.
this
Oh, older.
Vaishamus,
Okay.
uh, did not he did not he that Vaishamus was the one that started the fight
Right.
because
And he's the one that provoked it.
he disbelieved it all and
But
went to
I
leave.
don't know this. I don't know this.
That part you don't know.
That part I don't know. Yeah. So I say to him, I'm like, so when I found you, you you're from a time that you're not supposed to be in. You're
Indeed,
from a time that you're a time traveler, aren't you?
I'm not only a time traveler, I'm a dimensional traveler as well. You see,
Yeah.
you see that there was a you see there this archduke,
Hmm.
the one that you just saw, the one that I summoned you that the one that I summoned you for
Mm.
to help us fight against had I had just perceived him there, and so needing the help, I summoned you there, but you brought me here instead.
Don't this place I can move us forward, back, and sideways in time, so I'll try my very hardest to put you right back where you were. You'll
Sideways in
everything.
time. Yes,
I
that is
know it's.
that is a good way. That's a good way, an interesting way to look at it.
Mhm. Um.
I suppose I have moved sideways in time.
Yes, you definitely have. You
Indeed,
absolutely
but
have.
the archdemon, the very same one from your dimension, was invading mine,
Yes.
and he
It,
was styling himself as a deity named Grumsh,
Grumpsh. Right.
and
Right. Hmm.
and he ha- he was he he had infected the priesthood of Paladine, who would be Lunas to you.
Hmm.
He had infected the priesthood, and in effect was usurping his churches and replacing all of his icons with icons of his own. And
Hmm.
so I followed him back here, hoping to close his access, but instead I must admit I think I broke something.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. So
So I require your help. Can you help me mend it?
I will try my very, very hardest to
So
mend.
to do something like this, there in order there for you to be able to help him, there has to be a deed of some kind. He had
Indeed.
a, there has to be a deal, an exchange, where to
Exchange.
empower him to do something, to give him that spark, and to be able to guide him onto that thread of reality that takes him to the success that he
Mm-hmm.
wishes. It's called a geish, where
Geish.
he binds himself to it. It's kind of like
So it's a
it's
pact, almost.
it yes
But not really. Or a
it's
vow.
it's kind of like halfway between. It's a pact and a vow.
Got it.
It's what the Knights of the Round Table took, and that
Mm.
binds them into having to do certain actions.
Yeah. Got it.
So, but there's a deal.
There's a deal.
There's
Yeah.
a
Goes
there's a
on.
deal to be had, because what he wants is he wants to go back, and he wants to save his adopted sister, whom he has fallen in love with.
Wait, he's adopted who?
His adopted sister.
Okay.
He tells you of his childhood in in a
Got it.
in a nation just
Elspeth, right?
yes.
Yes.
And she is a and she, in his time, there was a great a great falling of the gods from the sky,
Mm.
called the Gods Fall, which destroyed her homeland. And it's a period that lasted about 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
uh, where a god would fall from the sky and would just obliterate everything
Obliterate. Yeah.
for leagues around.
It would be
Um,
bad.
and her and while her family had been traveling to Solaire as a child, one of the that ha, their home was
Oh,
a
it was
not
right there.
was annihilated. It was several hundred miles to the east. um,
Wow.
you could see the fire. They could see Vishamus was able to, even as a child, was able to see the fire over the
Mm.
horizon of the explosion. Uh,
Yeah.
Elspeth's parents went back and were never heard from again. Uh,
Oh.
but so Vishamus's family raised Elspeth as his adoptive sister.
Right.
Being raised together for several hundred years, Elspeth studied at the temple in Solaire, which happens to be right where that plane of that portal to the plane of growth that you saw was.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
she studied at the temple there, became a powerful druid, and the two of them fell in love. But being raised kind of like as brother and sister, they felt very odd about that.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be.
so and that's when you see that's when you see Vishamus beginning to experiment with time magic.
Mm.
He throws himself he tells you he threw himself out of reality, and and found himself here in this
Oh.
found himself found himself in this reality, where he was very puzzled, but but he he met a person named Victor Amber,
Yeah.
that he recognized from his own dimension of reality. But the one here had been somewhat tainted by by R
Posset or
by RGZD.
RGZD.
So in speaking in speaking with the Victor Amber who had been tainted in this dimension,
Mm-hmm.
he was Vishamus was looking to create a way to get back to his. Vishamus
Interesting.
Vishamus both an artificer as well as a wizard,
Mm.
design re, had was it was a he was had he had seen a creature named a creature named Nil, who had gotten a key from a key from some sort of fairy creature, and he had seen and analyzed this key, and he thought that he could recreate it with Victor Amber's help.
Yeah.
So over the course of several years of working side by side with this apposite
Which Vishamus is unaware of.
which Vishamus was completely unaware of.
Got it.
He distills down this essence of this quintessence of magic, kind of like bottled spell fire. That is pure magical potential energy, and by confining it into this matrix, and then spinning the threads in a nine-dimensional weave, you're able to create a portal from one place to another, guided simply by your feelings.
Oh.
Because RGZD has the ability to gate between worlds, and he wanted Vishamus to be able to do that.
Oh. So Vishamus led himself to his own.
Vishamus, you can kind of almost smell. It's like smelling the memories that come off of him, and you're able to kind of see what happens. And if you remember, if Odin remembers, the thing that you saw in the second of the fractures, the moment where Vishamus and Victor use the time spike,
Yes.
to pull the copy of the key out.
Yes, I remember this.
He shows you that moment,
Right.
and says, so I created this key, but the energy I brought back with it has allowed RGZD access to our world 216 years before my present. It allowed him to plant a seed which grew and eventually enveloped the entire planet. And now he wants the ability to come back and do that here. My world was his test bed, and I must cure it. But I must go back, and I must rescue my sister and my love.
Mm-hmm. I can help with that. Where you were, is that where you're...
But we have a daughter as well.
Right.
One that we created with this quintessence. She has the ability. We created, yes. Because we see each other as brother and sister. So,
right.
Procreation was yucky.
But you created
it's a custom. So we created an in vitro infusion of the quintessence that we created with the key, in order to be able to go back and serve as a sort of thread to reunite these bands that and be able to close the rift, because RGZD needs to destroy my world in order to create the bore into this one, which then will destroy this one, and then the next one, and burn a large hole in all of the multiverse.
Everything. Yes.
But I must be able to save my daughter and my sister.
I will help you. On one condition.
Anything. Name it.
See, so a valorous angel an angel of valor. They don't have many personal. They don't care about themselves. They're all for the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would benefit the traveler?
Well,
Like,
you also, as a trine, only have the ability to affect one
actions.
creature's fate at a time. So
Right.
you can only help him with one.
Right. Oh,
So
wait, only one. I can only save one, right? Right. So
so
I'm
he,
gonna tell him that. So
so he,
I'm saying as what's the thing called again? The
RGZD,
no no
the
the
quintessence,
vow, the the deal. What's it called again?
uh, the the geisha.
The geish. I can bestow upon you a geish. A geish is you being who you are. I'm sure you know what a geish is.
Yes,
Um,
it's the ability for a person to change their fate.
yes. So a geish can with this geish you can only save one. You can only save one. It's just how the geish works. I, you can only save one.
How does one choose between one's daughter and one's sister?
I do not know. It's horrible that you have to make that decision.
Yes. Yes.
And I can alter your
Yes.
fate,
Send me.
and you must. So, you must do, and then I'm gonna go and tell him what he has to do for the traveler, because all for the team,
Mhm.
and he has to do an action. No, he's gonna fix. He's gonna help to fix reality as his action.
Yes.
That's yes, okay. And as your action that you must take to fulfill the destiny that I will grant you, you have to fix what you have broken.
I will fix what was broken. And you and with his spoken words, you see you can see the ability for you to place the gate the to tie the fabric of the knots of reality, or and eldritch mana around him,
Yeah.
to tie the gauge around him.
And I extend my hand, and the hand, the hand is like you can see it's weaving the nine, like my hand is it's not completely four dimensional. It's a little bit nine dimensional,
It
as you can see that.
your hand spreads out into a fan of hands,
Yeah.
kind of like a Hindu depiction of Shiva with
Mm,
the thousand arms that his
yeah.
arms extend into. So it kind of becomes this kind of like fractal bloom of hands that
That's so
that
cool.
that tie nine-dimensional knots around
Mm.
this four dimensional creature.
And I extend my hand, and I say, "Do we have a deal?"
He re- he grasps your hand and says, "I will fix what I have broken."
Good.
He shakes your hand and roll me a Arcana check.
Arcana. What is
Arcana or religion.
or religion? Ooh, +5 on religion. I'm doing that. I rolled a 23.
A 23. So
Very lucky.
the web of the geish closes in around him and settles on him, and you can see him kind of for a second as it settles
Mm,
hold of him, and you can see the cross hatching pattern kind of sink into his skin momentarily,
mm,
creasing his skin, almost like you know how hams get wrapped in those woven nettings,
yeah.
kind get it
Oh, right.
there's kind of like creases that form on his skin briefly,
Interesting.
and that then his skin returns to normal as it releases. Um,
Mm.
and the geisha kind of like pulls him out of your pocket reality,
Yeah.
and you can, and with your multi-dimensional vision, you can see him slipping sideways back to his reality.
Nice.
And you see him appear back in see him appear far away in his library,
Mm.
where it the where the daughter that he had been talking about happens to be sitting in this interdimensional space
Yeah.
that is
Oh.
that's right outside. And you see him walk up to her. And
Walk
that
up to her.
and
Right.
that and that the, and from there that thread kind of goes off
Yeah.
into four major realms. One one that kind of loops around and then sprays out into everything. Kind of, it looks like it's been cut, or
Oh.
like it was like like the rope of reality was pulled too tight and just broke,
Is
erupted.
that the dimension we started in,
That
or
is the
is that the?
that is the one that Vishamus and his daughter in that library. Oh,
Oh.
and that's the one they're sitting in too.
Okay.
You see two others that are very short. Each of them ending at the same point in time with just you can see the energy of a posset just kind of like burns the end of it. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a rope that when you cut it, you burn the end so that it can't fray anymore.
Mm.
So a posset has burned both of those off, and appears to be going for there's one single strand that's holding this entire web of reality
Okay.
and the multiverse across from you. And a posset has burned has burned three of the four strands, has
Wow.
burned two of the strands, broken a third, and is now going for the last one, which is the
The
prime
fourth.
reality that you come from, that you were brought forth in, and in which
Oh wow. I,
and the one that you pulled Vishamus into.
so the broken one, Vishamus and
Vishamus is
Josin
from the broken one,
are from the broken. And
and
are we currently in the one
currently
that's being
you're
targeted?
currently in the last
The
strand.
last one. Okay.
That's because time flows in all directions. So, but you're at this is a choke point right here where
Y-
kind of all reality kind of like comes through these few points. You didn't used to be this way, but you can just look around and you can see just this forest of burned, frayed ends of
Wow.
reality. So, and all of them have come together where a posset is trying to come
Ooh.
through with this one thing and
Yeah.
take over all of the
All
multiverse.
of them.
And he's
Wow.
gotten most of them except for this one last strand
Yeah.
that you are in and that you have brought Vishamus into, and that you can see the other heroes weave into this strand and are the ones that continue through the strand that goes all the way through.
Are these the heroes that Vishamus was with when I plucked him out?
Good night, sweetheart. Yes,
Okay.
that's the one. That's the one that's the one that is currently being fought over. And it all they and in all the dimensions, this was the point. This and you can see that, oh, we're right at the we're right at the end of the precession cycle. When you look at the position of the planets, they
Mm.
are all lined up in one line, straight line from Relu, creating a gravitational keyhole
Into.
that that if you were to if you were to nudge something in one if you were to nudge something in one spot, it could
Yeah.
potentially shift entire planets.
An entire planet. Interesting. Oh, my mom's calling me. Give me 1 second.
Okay, it's probably getting late, so.
Yeah, that's probably why. Hold on.
Okay.
That's a really good place to leave off too, right there.
Yeah, because that.
And we can continue it tomorrow. I might have time.
Well, I've got a call time tomorrow, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
All right.
That was super fun and so cool.
Cool. Yeah, and there's still more to come. So I've got lots more lore to dump. So
Totally.
cool. Tell your mom I said goodnight.
Okay. All right.
See you later.
Bye bye.